You are now live. We are now live. We have an awesome guest today. She's been a friend of mine for a really long time. Oh, I should type in the code. Okay. It is Allie Live. Look at that.
I got
Look
our
at
drinks.
that.
Woo.
Allie Live.
What?
15. 15. There she. Oh man, that happens.
What?
I did Allie Live for 15%.
But they don't know on what.
I know, I was going to type it all in, but I accidentally hit send.
Oh, you want to do it again? You didn't pin it anyway. You can make an account.
Yeah,
again.
but Allie's here. Yeah.
Okay, well.
We'll have Dr. Justin do it.
He said he can't.
Oh, okay. I'll sign on and do it. I'll do it. That's a good idea.
Yay!
So,
Be watching.
Hello!
Welcome.
How are you?
Okay. Hold on. We're going to turn up the volume a little bit. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good.
Believe it or not, I do not do IG lives often. So
I was gonna ask you because I
Cheers.
feel like you're so savvy at this stuff. You know what I mean?
no, I'm not. I'm like actually the opposite.
You just stick to the TV.
Yeah.
What's that?
I said you stick to the TV.
Yeah, I stick to what I know.
Yeah.
I actually just texted you and asked you what do I put my phone on so no one
I
calls,
know.
texts, and interrupts because I'm like that would be bad.
Yeah.
Here we are.
It happens though.
It happens. It cuts you out for a second, then you have to just get rid of the call.
Oh, okay. Well, I put do not disturb, so hopefully.
Yeah.
that works.
IG Live is almost as exciting as live TV.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, because anything can happen.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that is so true.
So for
Yeah.
everyone watching and joining us right now, our guest is Allie Clifton, representing from Ohio. We got Midwest in the house.
That's right. I'm from Michigan.
She's from Michigan.
Cheers again.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Allie covers the Lakers for Spectrum Sports. And you've been in LA for how long now?
We just passed the 2-year mark.
Wow.
You came from Ohio, moved here from there?
I did, yep. Born and raised in Ohio. I lived there my entire life. It's the first time living outside of Ohio, and I chose LA. I mean, actually, I feel like it was both ways. I wish that I could just say I chose LA and here I am. But the job certainly helped, obviously.
Right.
So, yeah.
2 years. So how are you liking it so far?
Oh, I love it. I do.
Yeah.
As you know, being from the Midwest, what's not to love about home, right?
Right.
But it's really hard to not enjoy waking up to sunshine every day.
I know.
The weather's easy. My job is a blast. The people I work with, it's all a blast. So no complaints. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So it must be exciting now because of the playoffs to be covering them.
It's exciting, absolutely. But to be doing it in October, I mean, yesterday we had our pregame show for Game 4, and right before we went on air, I was like, it's so crazy to be talking about meaningful basketball in October.
Right.
You know, because usually it's preseason and you're gearing up and everything's just kind of like slowly working into motion, and now it's real time, and win or go home, and we all get it, the playoffs. But I can't complain. I mean, it's such a blast. It's literally what I love most.
It's the best job in the world.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Ashley.
So what has this season been like though? How weird has it been?
I think that's actually a really good word for it. It is weird, you know, just because of everything. And it's not just, what's ironic about it is for the Lakers organization, specifically speaking to them, it's not just been about the pandemic, though that's been huge.
Right.
And, a lot of people want to really just kind of focus on that. And I get it, rightfully so. But when you go back to the way I live my life is not in the calendar year, it's the basketball season.
Right.
So I think back to over 365 days ago when all this started, and, what happened at the beginning of it all with China in the NBA, and the Lakers were one of the teams over there. And there was so much uncertainty of whether or not the games will be played, and that whole debacle with China. And then you move into the new calendar year. And of course, the one thing that is still so heavily on everyone's heart, and the death and the loss of Kobe Bryant and Gianna, and those in the helicopter crash. And then you go to the pandemic, and then you go to social injustice, and whether or not the NBA season would even happen.
Right.
And here we are talking about the NBA finals. So
and the bubble.
In a bubble. Yeah.
So in the bubble right now, or are you here?
I am here.
Oh.
I am here. There was some back and forth whether or not I would be able to get into the bubble. It did not happen. But I'm just so thankful, and it's awesome. It's one thing I've always said about the NBA is I'm so proud to be a part of this league because to see what they have pulled off with everything, having gone the way it has, it's so remarkable. So to cover it no matter where I am, I'm just so fortunate.
And how successful they were with the bubble, because other sports teams already are starting to, football is already affecting them.
Amazing how they really did this.
Yeah. And I think there's so many different ways that you can look at it, because when it comes to the NBA, there was 60, 65 games already under their belt. And so you weren't trying to start up a new season with all of these NBA teams. And so you could limit, though it wasn't easy for the 8 teams that didn't make it, you went from 30 teams to 22. And then there were such few games in general that you were going to have all 22 teams together. Just the flow. It really worked out in the NBA's favor, but for what they were able to pull together from, the commissioner, Adam Silver, all the way to Chris Paul, head of the Players Association, all the way down, the staff and everyone who has made it possible, like kudos, hats off to them. It's so incredibly remarkable.
Yeah. So for everyone just joining, we have Allie Clifton with us covering the Lakers for Spectrum Sportsnet. And Allie, I know we sent you some of our YovinoMD skincare products.
I got them all.
And so we wanted to share a code that we have for everyone watching so that they can get their hands on some awesome skincare products as well.
Do you want to pin that?
Yes.
So Allie, what's your favorite product that we sent?
The favorite one of mine would be this one, filler in a bottle.
Yep.
I think it's because I've just never had something like this. I will say I'm not very educated on, I know what my skin needs, but I don't know exactly what it is that it needs. Does that make sense? Like I know when it's dry, I know when it needs hydration, but what are those skincare products that ultimately give my skin that? I don't know. So from that standpoint, I'm always so used to a moisturizer, a face wash, a moisturizer, sunscreen, and that's pretty basic. Maybe some eye cream here and there. So I do love the one that you guys sent me, which you guys can dive into more in the details as to why I feel like it's been so remarkable for my skin. But
that was the first.
What's that?
That was the as she's pinning the code.
The Ideal Enzyme Cleanser.
Yeah, I love that cleanser.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it, probably because Ashley, and you talked to me about this, with the amount of makeup I have to wear in studio, which has been so different since moving out here and transitioning into studio. That's been huge.
Oh, yeah.
I use it morning and night, so consistent. I was just telling Ashley the other night, I've not stuck to a routine as well as I have since you guys sent me these. But then I love the filler in the bottle. It makes me feel, I don't even have children, but I imagine what a baby's bottom feels like. It's so soft. And then the Premium Growth Factor Cream, which I do at night.
That's right.
I just feel like I was talking to my makeup artist the other day, and they said that they have noticed a difference, and they weren't sure what it was because we don't talk a whole lot about skincare per se.
Right.
But I was telling them that's kind of what's been different. And they just said I look more refreshed and alive, but my skin looks great. So I don't have anything on my skin right now.
Wow. Allie, oh my gosh, it looks so good.
Oh yeah, I don't have anything on my skin. When it is not a show, and I don't have to be in front of the camera, I don't wear any makeup.
So has your makeup artist said that the makeup goes on much smoother after using filler in the bottle? Have they noticed that?
Oh yeah. Well, the other thing that we did transition to, so there's a lot going on because of COVID. They just transitioned from physically applying foundation with a brush to the airbrush. So, which has been awesome. But it just allows less touch-ups and, touching with COVID. But they definitely noticed when, for instance, I would get facials and then a microderm. Is that with the peach fuzz? Have that removed? Microblade, yeah. So I've done that a couple times, and they definitely noticed a difference. But they mentioned that they feel like the foundation, not the foundation, but the airbrush is sticking to my face better. And so maybe that is because we literally just started a week ago with airbrush. So
Okay.
maybe it is because of the products. You guys would know if that's
Yeah. So filler in a bottle is it has 4 different hyaluronic acids that go in and hydrate your skin. So your skin's going to be more hydrated. A lot of times dry skin doesn't absorb a lot of products or doesn't allow products to bind to it that well, like hydrated skin would.
Okay.
But yeah,
Every time.
It does give a very silky smooth feel.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. I feel like I can't get enough. And like the first couple times I was really conservative with how much I used. And now I'm like, I'm going to be ordering that like next week because I like overdose on it. Like it's,
And put on your neck and your décolleté as well. Like
yes, that's what she said. Yep. All the way down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People forget about this area and then this doesn't match this and
Yeah. Which is crazy because when you do makeup, you always bring the makeup down.
Right.
So you think that you should also with your skincare.
Yeah. The same with the hairline. We see that a lot with patients, they only treat a certain part of their face. They don't get up into the hairline. They don't go down to the neck and chest. Backs of hands is also like another kind of sneaky spot for aging.
Oh,
like that. So any extra product, I always rub on the back of my hands.
Oh, I never thought about that.
Yep.
Nice little tip there.
That's what you
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm so glad you like them. I think like your makeup even just looks so much better when you have good skin.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And it's just, I feel like it's with everything. The healthier, the cleaner, the fresher.
Right.
Everything just feels better. It's something like I learned when I started wearing makeup, which I know this sounds crazy. It was only a couple of years ago. I wouldn't clean my brushes.
Yeah.
And it makes a difference in terms of like how your makeup goes on. And it's the same thing when you don't have a good foundation and you're not taking care of your skin, it makes a difference.
Right.
So I've always valued skin. I've always valued it. I just feel like the older I get, the more mature I get, and I can ask the questions as to what my skin needs.
Right.
Does that make sense?
That's super smart.
Yeah.
So give us some inside scoop on the Lakers. Tell us something good. Give us like some news. No one's listening.
They're one win away from winning a championship.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're 17th.
Right. The next game is when? Because tonight's the debate, so it's probably not tonight.
What is today? Wednesday?
Yes.
Yeah.
Today Wednesday? Friday.
Oh, so they
Friday
give like an extra night off, right?
Yeah, they got an extra day in there. And I wonder, I don't know this for sure. I wonder if it's because, if there were to be a game 7, they would need it to fall not on probably Monday Night Football, given it's ESPN. So I imagine that's kind of the shift. I don't know. I could just be making that up. But yeah, game 5 is Friday.
So this is the second championship, not second, because the Cavs had some championship runs and you covered the championship season with them.
Yes.
Do you know, in the beginning of the season, do you feel, okay, something special here? Or what was your experience like with the Cavs and what's it been like with the Lakers?
Yeah, it's interesting because with the Cavs, just knowing, as we talked about at the start of all this, being from the Midwest, I grew up in Ohio, born and raised, and that was my team. Cleveland teams were my teams growing up. And so there was an emotional connection already built in, right? So you're excited about it, and you have an opportunity to now cover this team, this championship run. And they had done it the season prior, getting all the way to game 6 of the NBA Finals. So here they are back again. And I remember always telling someone that 2016 season, I don't know why, but I would be doing anything you could imagine. There was a moment several times when I would be drying my hair in a hotel room pregame on the road. And I would just think it was a moment in November and a moment in January. And the one time was in November in DC. I remember this so vividly. And I remember thinking, what it would be like if this team really won a title. And I would get full body chills. The craziest, weirdest, feeling from initial, I don't know what it was. And then they ended up obviously doing what they did. It was miraculous. But then coming out here and experiencing it here, there was so much for me to learn when you're covering a team and a franchise like the Lakers, who are just so used to winning and have that rich history, that there's such a different vibe and a feel, and it's not the team that I was born and raised growing up rooting for, but there's so much to love about this team. And so to see from day one, even last season, and the transition for LeBron coming out here to California and being on his quest and seeing how everything unfolded to then what we just talked about, everything that they've gone through.
Right.
To see that kind of up close and cover them every single day has been so inspiring, I think. And to see if, one, that they have this opportunity to be in this position, but to see if they can get it done, it's going to be special. And
yeah, for sure.
And for such a variety of reasons. And I was just talking to my dad a little bit ago, and he asked if you could feel it out here. And it's like, I just feel like Laker fans, like, they just walk around with that swag no matter what.
Right.
And so you feel it every single day, I feel like. But they've been wanting this for a long time. And just working with my guys and hearing them and how much they've covered them, obviously, day in and day out at Spectrum, to be in this position, the excitement is so real. And we all wish that COVID wasn't a thing. So that you could really feel,
Right. Especially like they're not going to have a parade. You know what I mean? Like, what's it going to be like?
I did hear that. I did hear, in terms of, like, I don't know what the parade, because obviously you can't, but I would imagine, and again, no one like confirmed this, but I would imagine they would find some way.
Yeah, I was just
to celebrate sport, But what's crazy is, and it's the best thing about it, the NBA is going to be able to take the lead, whether it's with the Heat or the Lakers. They're going to probably set some sort of, this is how you do it. This is what we did. This is what worked. This is, what was successful. Yeah. And then the other teams, leagues are going to be able to follow suit.
And it's exciting for LeBron. This could be his third championship in such a short time frame. Isn't this his 9th NBA Finals in 10 years?
Dr. Sarah.
Yeah, wow, that was really good.
It is. It's his 9th. Like Botox and fillers, but no, she does it all.
It's his 9th in 10 seasons. Wow, that was I was like, wow, where's she going with that?
I'm sharing office with this woman, Allie.
I will cheers to you with that.
Yeah, cheers.
Well, I saw the win in Miami. I actually lived in Miami at the time, and it was Game 6, and I was sitting on my couch, we were watching, and they were winning, and I'm like, on my computer, and all of a sudden I was like, you know what? Let me just check because it's going to go to Game 7. And so I'm like quickly checking, and I find 2 seats. They were like nosebleed, and we're walking. And then I turned around, I was like, because you don't realize it's like super, but it was great. I don't care. I could have been at the last row. I was the 4th.
Wait, you got into a finals game?
Yes, Game 7 in Miami when he won in Miami. When it was.
Do you know how many people dream of those moments?
I got super lucky. Well, because I knew they didn't have any tickets sold. I mean, who knew that they were even going to get to Game 7?
Right.
So the minute I knew they were going to win Game 6, I was like, they have got to be selling Game 7 tickets. So I was like, and I got them. Yeah.
Wow.
That's amazing.
It was amazing.
That is amazing.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I have the video of like the whole thing. I should find it. It's
you should.
somewhere lost in my phone among my videos, but yeah, it was great.
The Lakers did just announce today that they are wearing their Black Mamba jerseys on Friday, which is really special. Obviously, we know why, but it is a thing where they were supposed to wear them for Game 2 and Game 7, and I know this may sound crazy, but it's one of the coolest things about like diving inside the equipment manager and the team aspect and having like the right colorways and jerseys and shoes for players and stuff like that aligned. I remember following the Cavs equipment guy a couple of times and just seeing what that process was like. And so you don't just get to choose the day you wake up what color you're going to wear that night. Like it is scheduled. It is a part of, a process, etc. But they were able to bring back the jerseys for Game 5.
Yeah.
Because does that mean it's going to be away, right? Because it's black.
No, that is a bit different. Because there's so many, like they have their gold, their whites, the blacks. They have their city edition jerseys. So there's so many different ones. Usually that does, it does hold true in some instances and most of the time in sports, but not necessarily all the time.
Yeah. I remember one time when I was covering a Cavs game and they were playing the Lakers and they wore their gold jerseys and it was like such a big deal or something on the road. Yeah. And I was just like, wow, that's so interesting. But you're right. So much planning goes involved in these types of decisions that you don't even think of,
It's so wild.
And not only that, but they're making the hats, they're making the t-shirts,
Yeah.
they're making everything
Yeah.
for the fans to get after, you know?
Totally.
Right. And then if you're in a game 7, you have to make all of that for both teams.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
you don't, you have to
Right.
yeah.
You don't know.
For
So
sure.
kudos to all of those
Yeah.
individuals.
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
So wait, Allie, I have to ask, because a lot of people don't know this, but, well, I don't know, maybe they do, but, you played college ball. Like, you are a hooper at heart.
Yeah.
So to be now a part of such a storied franchise, like, what is it like for you on, like, a personal level, or like a
Right.
hooper to be covering the Lakers,
So you played in college?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I played in high school, but that was like, oh. I made it to college, girl.
No, I did play in college. It's one of those things where, again, like, my parents always did such a good job of, we can get so, like, caught up and lost in, like, our jobs and our careers and what we do and wanting to be so good at what we do and just keeping up and so forth, that they always reminded me to, like, take moments and seconds to, like, remember what you're doing, and just realize how incredible of an opportunity, especially as a sideline, it was, you have one of 30 jobs. There's 30 NBA teams and one sideline reporter per each team, and you have one of those jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And so, obviously, Game 7, speaking of that, with the Cavs in 2016, I made sure to have those moments. But even now, being a bit removed because I'm in the studio, you can watch it from such a different vantage point. You can watch the game from a different vantage point. You prepare differently. The way in which you go about interviews. For instance, tomorrow I'm supposed to have an interview, a one-on-one with Anthony Davis. And so I haven't seen Anthony since literally face-to-face since March. So just like the preparation and all of that is just so different. But it allows you those moments and opportunities. So again, like you mentioned, like, this is pretty cool. Like, this is what I do for a living. And
will that be a face-to-face that you're going to have, or is it going to be like?
Yeah. So it sounds like we're going to do a Zoom interview.
Okay.
And so just kind of that, that's 2020 Zoom. I feel like #Zoom. Here we are.
Yeah.
But hey, it's better than nothing. And it's an opportunity to get to talk to one of the main guys that's gearing up for a possible closeout opportunity and situation.
So tell us, does the studio come in and set you up and bring the camera and do all this, even though it's a Zoom, like everybody else uses their computer? Do they do the whole setup for you and tell you exactly the height of the camera and all that other stuff?
So for those, I'm just going to take my laptop.
Okay.
And I don't know exactly how this one's going to be, because other ones we've done via FaceTime with the team in the bubble. So that is on, you're in studio and there's 5 different cameras and you're at the desk and the camera follows you and you know where to look, kind of thing. So this one's going to be different. I don't know what it's going to be like exactly. I know that they are, when they're in the bubble and players are talking to media, whether it's the ones that aren't in tier 1 or the ones that are back, in their respective cities covering the finals, for instance, it's all via Zoom.
Okay.
So
you said FaceTime. I was like, you use your phone? What?
Yeah.
Well, it's crazy because when you're in studio, they can set up, it's technology. I don't understand it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why the individuals in the control room, my director, all of them, producers, they're so wonderful. They get paid the big bucks to handle that. But I am in the studio and I'm working on the camera and it's via FaceTime. It's so incredible. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But
So this may prepare you for the future of having one of those, post-game wrap-ups or one of those pre-game shows. Maybe that will be in your future. Right?
in terms of?
Isn't those, they have like those pre-game shows where they have like the few people or the people that do all the announcing throughout the game? I'm very basic here because I don't know what I'm talking about.
No, I
But
love
they have like they usually have, it's usually like a retired player, like
yes.
Or there was like this really pretty black woman. I pointed her out before, and you're like, oh, that's so and so.
Yeah.
We were watching something where they talk about like what the game's going to be all about, who's playing, who to watch, who this, I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was just making sure I was following you correctly.
Well, because so maybe I'm getting confused here as I was thinking more of like side court stuff.
That's what she used to do with the
Okay.
Cavs.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it is
Now
You're in the studio.
Now she's in studio.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
How's that been?
I'm a little slow.
The studio?
Yeah.
Gosh, you're fine.
No,
You're
no.
fine.
Wait, on.
It's all confusing. Just like if I started speaking about these, you would be like,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I think that's what you did give me. That I was like, actually, on me.
No, I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page. That's all. The studio's been great. It's been so much fun. It's
so much fun because well, I guess in basketball, I always just remember like with getting ready for sidelines on like college football or NFL, it was like you had to prepare for so much. You had to prepare for all kinds of weather. You had to prepare for your makeup falling off of your face, for your hair being a disaster, like all of these things that no one really thinks about. And then in studio, it's like safe. You can wear your heels and know you're not going to sink in the ground.
Right.
You know,
Exactly. So true.
How are you not checking out all the players and, you know, in those outfits and, you know?
Who said I wasn't? I can say that stuff now.
Yeah, I can say that stuff now. No, it is a lot. Like, you don't think about it because the thing that's so crazy is when you're on the sideline, you're speaking to a camera, right?
Right.
But there's thousands of people
so much going on
in the stadium, like that actually do see you. Where like when you're in the studio, you're speaking to the camera, and then there's like 5 people around you. Mm-hmm. So it is so different. And like as you mentioned, like indoors versus outdoors. And when you're in studio, I've been so fortunate here because they have makeup artists and they do touch-ups for you. And that's the aspect where you just do not have to worry about any of this because there's professionals taking care of it. So you can focus
grabbing you
on your content. Yeah.
So have either one of you guys, when you were reporting, ever got like hit by something? Did anyone ever think?
All the time. Really? It's like a rite of passage.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I remember
so early on in my career where this stuff couldn't go viral, right? You know, like Instagram was like just a thing or, you know, something like that. So, you know, especially covering soccer, I got hit in the head I think I probably got hit in the head on live TV 3 times.
With what?
Twice with a soccer ball, 1 with a football.
No way.
At Ohio State, just in the end zone, pregame warm-ups, you know, but you kind of, I mentally was like, okay, eventually it's coming. You do it long enough and you know, are on the sidelines enough where you know it's coming. And so I was a little prepared to like, just keep going and brush it off so that I didn't
cry
and viral, you know what I mean?
I was going to say, did it happen while you were doing a hit or a segment or?
Twice, yes. Twice. While it was like we were on air,
Yeah. An Allie.
Yeah.
What did you say?
I said, I guess it's never happened to you because you're like,
it has. It was in Minnesota and I was doing a pregame hit and I got hit with a basketball. Like you could literally, to the opposite of your point, Ashley, about social media, you could Google my name and it would come up right now.
Oh, okay.
But it was like one of those moments where it was actually a taped segment and we just aired it because I just kept going. Yeah. And so we aired it and it caught like national news. Like it was like on the news stations, like not even just sports. It was on the news. And my dad made the comment. He was like, she probably didn't even know it hit her. I'm like, you know what? You're so focused in the zone. Like I did know, but like I didn't. You just kind of were like, this is what comes with the territory. You're standing on the sidelines. Like these guys have a job to do. Yes, they care about us. They're wonderful human beings as well as athletes, but they're not really worried about the ball that just bounced and hit you in the head. Like, they got buckets to get, you know?
Right, and they're not small. And sometimes they plow into people themselves.
Oh, yeah. If you're
then there's that.
On sidelines, too, I mean, you're just asking. You know, because you also have to stand. Yeah. You have to stand, you know, at somewhat distant. Speaking of basketball, I remember when Dr. Sarah's husband, Dr. Justin, is a big golfer, and you see him on here, Justin Yovino.
Hello, Justin.
Golfer. Yeah, and I remember when Jason Day's wife, was sitting courtside at the Cavs game, and she had to go to the hospital. Oh, she did?
Yeah. I mean, they barreled over her. It was one of the scariest moments. Yeah.
Oh, really?
I think it was LeBron.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. You're just so close to the action. And, you know, it's the beautiful part about that kind of accessibility. And obviously it's what makes the sporting events what they are. That's what's one of the biggest things that are missed because of COVID right now with sports, right? The fans. Right. And I'll never forget that. It was Cavs bench broadcasters, and they were sitting in that small section of seats. And he barreled over her, and she did. She was taken to the hospital. Yeah. That was wild. I totally forgot about that.
I mean, could you imagine? I mean,
especially his size.
I mean, that would be such a hard hit.
Yeah.
You know?
LeBron's like thick and solid. And it's like,
you know? That's nothing easy.
I always used to ask
my dad.
my dad played football ball in college, and I always used to ask him, and I never know why I used to ask him this. Like, if I got hit on full on speed, right, by a guy in pads, he's like, you wouldn't survive. Like, you just
Oh my God.
going down, you know?
Well, that's the other thing too. Like as fans, like you're there to enjoy the time, and like you're having beverages and cocktails and food and all this stuff. Like you're not always paying attention to that. You know, you're not going to the game like, oh, I better be ready. But I mean, once you see it happen, it's like, oh, you better be ready.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Or getting hit with a hockey puck during that game. That was bad too.
Oh, that's
rough. Definitely. Yeah. I mean, they used to not have the nets up, you know, and now they do because it catches that stuff. But yeah, or even Dr. Justin said, a golf ball. That I can't imagine how bad that would hurt.
Did you see the it's been on ESPN a couple times, the home that is like on a golf course, and every time the ball gets hit in the home's yard, the dad goes out and lays beside the ball, so by the time the golfers get up there, they think that the golf ball hit the dad. He's like,
oh my God, that's so funny.
I actually just saw that yesterday. I was like, that's genius.
That is amazing. That is so funny.
One of these cashing in lawsuits on
Right.
Right.
So, Allie, one thing when we were looking at to make our flyers, you know, for today's Behind the Beauty.
Oh, which was amazing. Who did those?
Yeah, right? Super cute.
Yeah.
The girl who makes it, Gracie, she works with us. The first photo that she chose was one that she used, that she found of you on Google. And I'm like, that must have been a long time ago because it was like baby Allie, okay?
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Like, oh, no.
What color was my hair?
Yeah. Yeah. So how has you, I noticed, I just like love how to see you, like, you've just flourished with fashion and hair and all of that.
She says you post all your pregame show outfits.
I love that.
Instagram.
It's like one of my favorite things about your Instagram because I love seeing what you're wearing and how you put looks together, you know?
Ashley, you are the sweetest human being ever. Like every time I open my inbox and Ashley's face is in there, I'm just like, oh, she just
I'm in
brings
her
me so
DMs
much
all the
joy.
time.
Oh, it truly, it means like so much to me. I don't know anything about fashion. I don't know anything about stuff. I'm telling you from the bottom of my heart, it's the one thing. If there's a stylist that can help a girl out, I need it. But I do rent the runway.
Okay.
And it's like changed my life. And a lot of that has been because now that I'm in studio and I'm not traveling as much, I'm here to receive shipments and be able to send stuff back in a timely fashion and manner. So I think like we talked about this a couple of years ago when we did our segment together. I'm all about comfort. I'm an athlete at heart, so I'm a Tom girl 90% of the time.
Right.
But there is something about me that I still love to be girly. You know, my parents always said when I was the littlest girl, I took after my grandma. She has all the jewelry, watches, shoes, bags that you could imagine. And I just kind of taken after her. And so being removed from the actual arena setting and now being in studio and you don't get to be out there and see a lot, I was like, this is kind of a fun way to just like show, you know, this is what I'm doing. This is kind of where I'm at. And it's so hard. I would love to like post more videos of like actually being on television, but once that camera comes on, I'm like gone.
Right.
Like, so, you know, it takes a lot to like get ready and get together and be presentable and, you know, put your words together on, you know, so I just like to have fun with my outfits and I don't know, like that, tap into that side of who I am, girly, and, you know, I just wish I knew more about like what looks good, what doesn't look good, you know?
Right.
So,
for sure. I mean, I remember learning like when I first started, it was with the Ohio News Network, RIP. It's no longer around anymore. But
ONN?
Not wear satin on camera. I should not wear prints on camera. Like it was bad.
You know what's so funny is, speaking of that, my grandfather, RIP, used to call me during like live hits. So like I would be on his television talking to him. Yeah. He would call me and he would leave a voicemail every time. And he would say, I know you're not answering because you're talking to me, but there you are wearing black again. Like that was your favorite color. Side note, it's because it hides all the sweat.
Right.
And I'm not even sweating. Like I'm not hot. I'm not like sweating. It's the nerves.
Yeah.
And the amount of clothes, this might be too much information, but the amount of clothes I have ruined because of, you know, sweating. So that also factors into like what I'm wearing, and 90% of it is black because it hides everything that
I have
no one
vivid
cares to see.
memories of that. I couldn't wear color because
Really?
it would just be sweat dripping down my
Is
back.
that white satin too?
Satin too. Satin just is not as flattering, but
You can see every little.
you can see everything. Yeah.
And the thing too is like you learn really quickly what looks good like in person. And
Right.
then, to your point, like on camera, you're
It's a
just like,
difference.
whoa.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Why didn't I have any friends? Why
Right.
did they tell me don't wear that?
The
Yeah.
first picture that was picked out from you was in a black dress.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
And I was like, no,
There
no,
she
no.
is. That
I
should be
think
my
it was
middle
one
name.
of your Fox Sports Ohio like promo photos. It's over the shoulder, smile.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, someone's always telling me, Allie, stick your hip out. Look over your shoulder. I'm just
Right.
like,
Yeah.
what? Like, give me
Yeah.
a
And then there
basketball.
was-
Give me some
Yeah.
space. Like,
The
Come
second photo that was in contention was this shorts suit.
I
That was
loved it.
that was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I
Did
loved
you?
it. That was like cheetah print or something.
I love a print. I will never say no to a print.
I will never say no to a snake print. Like,
Yes.
snake
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yes.
Snake print.
Yes,
Snake
that's
print.
what it
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
all day, every
Yeah.
day. That
Yeah.
is a bit different. You
Yeah.
know what's so funny is like, I was kind of reminded of, oh, so you're trying to channel like the Cavs 2016, or not 2016, 2018 playoff team. Remember when they showed up for the finals in their short suit?
Yes.
Now that was Tom Ford, so it's like a whole nother level.
Yes.
But yeah, but I'm
Yes.
also really big into the Peloton right now. And so I'm like biker, whatever. So when I saw that on Rent the Runway, I was like, I need that. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to put it together. But it was like one of my favorite outfits.
Yeah, I
Low
love
key.
that.
I was like, yeah,
I love that.
it was fun.
Dr. Sarah loved the one with the one that we used.
That we use.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
I like that. The
Yeah.
white outfit.
Thank
It
you.
was really
Yeah.
good.
I've
So
had
fun.
that shirt, ironically, for like a year. It was
Love
like
A
at the
dress
beginning
is
of-
always a little sexier or whatever. The outfit is always a little sexier than a suit on a woman.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
But there is something about a suit that's like powerful.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm like, you know,
For
finding that
We were
balance.
going for sexy.
Yeah.
You know,
You mentioned the Peloton.
Yeah, I want to know about that. You know,
Oh.
someone told me that they can't even get one now. That there's wait lists and you can't even
Oh,
get a
yeah.
used one. You can't even get a new one. That they're just like everybody with COVID, with all the gyms closed, have been wanting to get them. So, what's been your experience with it?
shout out to Peloton. I need to put some stock in that however I can, because one, they're doing it the right way. Whoever invented that is a what?
She was
I know.
responding to a comment. She said Ashley's lips look amazing, and she said that she did them, which she did. She did my lips last week on Behind the Beauty. On this.
I've always thought that about your lips.
Yeah.
So
Well,
they look amazing.
she's responsible for them.
Well, good thing we became friends. You might be getting a DM from me. No, they do look awesome, girlfriend. They
Thank
do.
you.
So, did
I've
you
always
spin
done that.
before getting the bike? Was that always something that you loved doing? Is spinning?
Yeah. So one of my really good friends, shout out Lisa Summer. She is a spin instructor. She was my college teammate at Toledo. She kind of got me into spinning. Her vibe and just kind of her soul and the way she kind of rocks out on the bike made it fun for me. But also I suffered a lot of injuries in college, so I rode the bike a lot. So I liked it, but I never have enjoyed it as much as I do now. I think the whole combination of having it in your home, like having the bike in your home, you can get on it whenever you want. The instructors, the dynamic of whatever you need, whatever you're feeling,
Right.
the length, everything, just like the length of class to,
Mhm.
I mean, you can get a 5-minute to a 75-minute workout. You can do it off the bike. You can do it on the bike. What they offer just kind of hits the spot
Right.
for me. But I love their instructors. Allie Love, she is.
Yeah, isn't she she's the next?
She is. She does. I mean, what doesn't she do? I feel like she's
Right,
all
I know.
over. She's so
Right.
good at just kind of having her hand in everything.
Mm-hmm.
She's one of my favorite instructors. And the one thing I tell people is, like, born and raised, I'm an athlete. It's what I know. It's what I do. It's second nature to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I need something else to hook me. When it comes to
Right.
like working out, like, I need you to take my attention off of what I'm doing. I'm one of those people that, like, I wish I could just drop my body off at the gym and then pick it up later and it'd be done.
I'm one of those people too.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I need you to do is take my mind away from what I'm doing. And
Right.
I just feel like that's where it really hooked me. Like,
Oh, I love that.
it's taken my mind to a different place. It makes me think differently. The way in which the instructors operate and how they teach you and coach you through a class. Shout out to I did, to your point, of having to wait. I did have to wait 5 weeks.
Oh.
I ordered it in June. I didn't get it till second week of July, but a lot of that's because of COVID.
Right.
You know, I mean,
Right.
people are wanting it, and I can understand why.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
I mean,
Now the latest is the mirror too.
yeah, I
That's
saw
huge.
the
What's that?
That was bought by Lululemon.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I just can't get over how much I'm actually enjoying at-home workouts. Like,
Oh yeah.
I don't see myself wanting to go back to like a gym anytime soon, you know, especially I remember like right before I canceled my membership with F45, I was loving it. And then I thought when COVID happened, I was like, okay, it is
Getting paranoid.
It's kind of gross now.
Yeah, it is hard just because like we all know, and we have like my the one I think of right away is my road trip host.
Mhm.
My partner Richard Jefferson, he owns Soho Yoga, and they're so fortunate, and they've been able to think outside the box, and they do beach yoga now, so they've been able to stay open and kind of operating and stuff, because you feel for those. Like I became really close with a boxing studio right around the corner. It's very small. It was very intimate kind of setting. I loved going. I started in January, and they had to shut their doors.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's tough. Like it's
Yeah,
so
mine's
tough for
closed.
everyone. But we're all just trying to
where's
like
that beach yoga? What city?
in Hermosa.
Oh, that's kind of
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Well, Ashley comes down every week. You can come with her
I literally, and
every weekend.
Allie, no, to the beach. Allie's recommendation, since she told me what beach like she goes to, I've gone to the beach every single weekend.
Really?
And we haven't linked up yet. Like
I know, I'm so
but it's-
disappointed.
it's because of
I think you're a stalker.
I'm stalking you,
You
Allie.
DM every day.
I'm telling you.
I don't know. I've watched
I
half
love
of
it.
this one.
I love it. I love it so much. It's such a nice beach. Like I can't get over how much I love it. You know.
It is. It is
Yeah.
like it's so big too. Like coming
is.
from where I come from, obviously we always vacation in the south, and the beaches are just different.
Right.
Nothing bad about it, but like when you get to learn like this is your space and this is where you
Right.
live and this is, you know, what you can walk to every single day. Oh my God, it just hits the spot. It's so good.
Totally. Yeah, I've been.
Yeah, I loved Miami Beach. I was I lived there for so long that I love that place. But I love Manhattan Beach, Hermosa, all the California coast too. But I love the fact that in Florida the water's so warm, and so you just feel like it's so nice.
That is
That's the
and
one thing about the beaches here.
1000%. And the current I feel like is a bit different in the south.
Yeah.
Here,
Right.
I mean that can knock
But when
me
you're
over.
shivering, you can't really like swim, so you're like getting swept away.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely have. When I've gone in every single time too.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not
Oh,
really
you're
like that.
crazy.
I know. And every time I've gone in, when the current comes, I'm like, "Ooh, this is a little strong." You know, back it on up. You know? Yeah,
That's so
the
funny.
last thing we need.
Yeah, the lifeguards are like,
First,
Yeah.
they're really dialed in
They
here
are.
too. I noticed that when I went
Yeah.
out to your beach. I'm just gonna start calling it your beach.
You know, well,
Yeah.
like 2 weeks ago, it was like in the middle of a Sunday, and there were like 10, I don't know what you call a school of dolphins, but there was like 10 dolphins. Just
Wow.
Oh yeah, and kids were just like on their boogie boards and watching it. Like it was just, I'm just like, wow.
Yeah. It's so like, do you ever see yourself back in Ohio?
You know, I go back like 3 to 5 times a year.
Okay.
I would say, again, I just moved out here obviously just 2 years ago, so I feel like that's a lot still. My mom is actually on her way out here as we speak.
Yay.
Before we got on here, she literally texted me, said she was boarding.
That's nice. My mom's coming tomorrow.
Coming tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yay.
Yes. Oh, there's just nothing like family.
I know.
So, you know, like, I don't know, as long as I'm doing what I'm doing, because the only place that I would really like to go back to is my hometown. And for what I'm doing currently right now, I just don't see that as an option.
Right.
Just because of the opportunities and obviously my goals and ambitions for my career. But if I were to be able to get back, I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are your goals and ambitions? Like,
you know, it's so funny, and I don't want to say it's cliche, but like I feel like I always relate to, you know, I was listening to something with Aaron Rodgers yesterday, and I think it was about just him getting up there in years and so forth. And he made the comment about, you know, until he wakes up and doesn't enjoy playing football or playing a game or doing all the necessary things to be great, you know, at his craft, that's when he'll know to walk away. And I think just for me, just taking everything day by day, I'm so serious when I say that. Like, everything can change in a matter of minutes and moments, and we've learned that and we know that. And so, you know, does this mean I want to do something? I don't want to do anything different. Like, I love what I'm doing right now, and I'm exploring a new like, I don't know, like, tool in my toolbox, if you will, like learning how to host in studio and lead in a different way. Do I love sports? Do I want to stick around sports and continue to be? Yes, 1000%. Do I love what I'm doing with the podcast? Yeah. Like, telling those kinds of stories. I love telling stories. I love being around the game competition. So what that looks like down the line, who knows?
Everyone who's listening about your podcasts.
Yeah. So we have a podcast called Road Trippin', where we
and you have it. Who's we? Who you have it with?
Yeah. So it's myself and then Richard Jefferson and Channing Frye, two guys that I spent time with in Cleveland. We're part of the Cavs. After they won a championship, they decided to spend some downtime on the road, do a podcast. We drink wine and we tell stories, and it's just kind of evolved over the years. Yeah, I mean, guys have been traded. We're now all on the media side. None are playing anymore. So we've just kind of allowed it to evolve and continue to weekly tell stories, have guests. And it's been great. We've moved into the studio with Spectrum. They've taken it on as a television show. So it's not just audio. It's on the television side as well. We're getting into all the regions across the NBA. So that's 30 different regional markets.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's so much fun. I mean,
and that's been for how long? When did you guys start that?
We started that in 2017.
So nothing happens overnight, as you see. You know, it's like slow.
Yeah.
That climb, but you know, then eventually, you never know what you start.
Right.
What's out
where
there.
it could lead to. Yeah.
Right. For sure. Yeah. How did the idea come about?
That was all Richard, actually.
Both of those guys are like really good. They're always a great interview. They're always, you know what I mean? You can always go to them and like, they're so solid like that.
The one thing like I've learned is, and I say this often to them, I just feel like any moment and at any time, no matter who the guest is, they always have a new story. Like they never tell the same stories over. And I'm just like, how do you have all of this information? How do you continue to, and they're always the stories, like you said, like, what can you tell us about the Lakers? What insight do you have? Like, they have something for everything. So Richard came to me in a practice. I went to every single practice in Cleveland. And he randomly came to me after a practice and just said, I want to start a podcast. Will you be my host? And I thought for a second, that's a lot of talking. I don't know if that's something and not only that, but like, you've got a really interesting mind. And I don't know if I want to be associated with your mind.
Right.
So I was hesitant at first. I was nervous. And then we ended up asking Channing to come on and be a part of it. And then we decided to do it in a hotel room in San Francisco. The night before a game, and Kyrie stopped by at the time, and he was coming to get treatment because we were doing it in the athletic trainer's room. And he sat down. We had one wine glass, a microphone in the wine glass, and we were all just shouting into this microphone. And we ended up dropping the episode, and people just freaked out over it. Wow. They just loved it. And so it's like, you know what? This is fun. It's not facts. It's storytelling. It's humanizing. And it's a good insight into like what so many people want to know about athletes, right? Like we think of these people as like invincible, and they are in so many ways in terms of like their skill and what they do for a living, but it's just like, they're human, and it's what's allowed me to really get to know so many different individuals, and people for who they really are, which has been fun, all the while, like at times getting paid to do it. And forming friendships out of everything. So, I mean, we just dropped today Sam Van Gundy. And episode with him.
That's so cool. I love him. I always loved him as a head coach.
Oh, he's like one of the best sound bites ever. Like in our profession, like we look for sound bites.
Right.
After, for what you need for television, like who's going to make the viewer at home laugh? Who's going to make them remember who you are? Who's going to make them want to like turn or tune in and be there for longer? Sam Van Gundy's one of those individuals.
For sure.
Just so smart, but has such personality, charismatic,
Totally. It's so hard to recreate. You talked about putting the microphone in a wine glass and how the conversation just took off. It's so hard to recreate those moments of magic. You know what I mean?
It's the chemistry.
Yeah, and you book, you book guests and you think, oh, this one's going to be great. But really, it's all about that moment and the realness and the authenticity. And I mean, we even have that with Behind the Beauty, right? We have, guests that were like, oh, this is, it's like it's just when it's so real and authentic, it's so hard to recreate those moments. You know what I mean?
Oh, I mean, it's what people want.
Right.
It's like people always ask me, like, what's the advice that you can give? And it's like, be you. Like the second, like, don't get me wrong. There's moments where I'm like, fake it till you make it.
Right.
We all need that in our life. Okay. But I mean, at the end of the day, like, who are you? Like, who are you to your core? And what can people, like, where and in what ways can you allow people inside to get to know you and appreciate you and want to hear more of you and your voice? And it can be hard and it can be scary. But I feel like the more you're open to allowing that to be open, more positive comes from it. And I think in so many ways, road tripping has been that.
Yeah.
And where can they find Road Trippin'? Is it like on iTunes? Is it where?
Yeah, so it's on Apple, it's on Google. Actually this morning, because we were on like iHeartRadio and Spotify and stuff, and there's some tweaks that I have to make. But just about anywhere on the audio side that you get your podcast from, you can find Road Trippin'. Here in Los Angeles on Spectrum, we carry it, so you can watch it. And then also on YouTube.
Oh, nice.
You can watch it on YouTube as well.
Now, is the YouTube actually a live of you guys recording the podcast, or is it just the podcast?
Yeah, it's not live. It is video, but it's not live. So it's recorded.
That's what I meant, like the
yes.
the video. You guys recording your podcast.
Yes.
The podcast.
Yeah.
We've been thinking about a podcast.
You guys totally should.
Yeah, I feel like we should too.
You totally should. Yeah. It has almost been an hour, and I'm like, what?
I know. We always do this. I was like, we go about an hour.
You should cut us off. Yeah. Now he hasn't cut us off.
I need to come. Where are you guys at? I need to come visit the stop.
Yeah, we're in Beverly Hills. We are basically like Wilshire and Santa Monica, where they intersect.
Okay.
We're really close to where you and I met for the Vibe Sesh.
Oh, nice. Okay.
We're just like a couple streets down. And it's in this area called the Golden Triangle.
Okay.
And it's such a fun, if you're into aesthetics and cosmetics and just anything fun, girly, and beauty, the Golden Triangle has anything and everything. And it's just
it includes Rodeo Drive, shopping.
Yeah.
It's like this.
Yeah.
If the streets are, they're kind of in a triangular shape.
So I'm actually, you guys know more about Los Angeles and Beverly Hills in that area than I could ever. No, but my mom, when I brought my family out, they came out the first year at Thanksgiving. We, because we always stayed at the Montage when I was with the Cavs. And so that little courtyard.
Yes. It's so amazing.
It's amazing, right?
It's not called the Montage anymore. It has another name now.
Is that what it is? Because I was looking at it on the website.
It's called, I don't remember the name of it, Justin? Yeah, I don't know the name of it, but they changed, I think, ownership or something.
Wow.
Or they changed the name for sure. It's not
because if you look at it, if you Google it, it says it's closed.
Because it's not the Montage anymore. It has a different name. I want to say it starts with an M again, but it's not Montage. It has a different Mirage, I think it is.
Is the courtyard area still open?
I'm sorry?
Is the courtyard area still open?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, that's still open.
So I'm going to bring my mom up there.
Yeah, they had this amazing bakery, Bouchon, and all this other little things. Those closed. Those have closed, yeah.
It's so sad for all the small businesses,
Wait, did they close because of COVID?
It's called the Mayborn. I knew it started with an M, so I was off. But
the Mayborn.
It started Mayborn, yeah.
$415 million.
They bought it for $415 million.
Not bad.
No big deal.
That's it. Bargain.
What a steal.
Yeah, seriously. What a steal. So I'm taking my mom up there on Saturday.
We have to visit.
Yeah.
I know, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
You will be or won't be?
We won't be there on Saturday.
Take her on Monday.
Yeah.
Tuesday. I'll be there Tuesday.
Yeah.
She leaves. But I will come up and visit you.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious because I feel like we need to talk about my skin more. I need you to be a skin person. And then I want to know other products.
Yeah.
Well, here we go, right here.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We have something for everything.
Yes.
What?
Yeah. We have something for everything. Like every skin condition, we have a product that can really treat treat it. And a lot of rejuvenating things and build
Mm-hmm.
collagen building and elastin building and things like that to make you look younger in the long run.
It's not necessarily about like, I don't like the word anti-aging, right? Because
It's
truly,
age defense.
right. That's
Age
exactly
defense.
it, you know? Like, because I actually think I get better each year, you know? I'm more wise. I have better life.
You age like fine wine.
Yes.
Exactly.
And so it's like, just age defense, you know?
Right.
It's not about the anti-aging.
Or it's like reversing some of the damage that's already occurred because, you know, by the time you're in your 30s or 40s
Right.
or whatever, you know, there is some sun damage in this. And we can reverse the clock with good quality products.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Allie, you have some serious fans out here. I love it.
I do?
It's
This
so
person
great.
loves you.
And I love all of the love and support from Ohio.
Oh my gosh, I know, right? Shout
I
out to
haven't been
Ohio.
back it's been too long for me.
When was the last time you got back?
I think it was in 2018 or 2017 when the crew was, you know, up for sale and they ended up selling them, and I went back for that. Yeah.
Wait, is your family back there or no?
Yeah. My family left a long time.
Oh,
a long
okay.
time ago. Yeah. So they're in Naples, Florida. And so yeah, it's been
Yeah, mine eventually moved from Michigan. They live in La Jolla now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What part of Michigan?
I lived in a suburb of Detroit. It was called like West Bloomfield, Orchard Lake. I lived on Orchard Lake.
Orchard Lake, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very nice.
It's like 30, 40 minutes from the Palace. A lot of people know Palace.
Oh, okay, yep.
30 minutes out in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do you get back often?
I used to go every year for a week. I loved it, especially in the summertime. I loved it. But then my parents moved like 3 years ago to La Jolla, and so I haven't been back since because they packed up and left, and they were the reason I would go back.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But I guess my friends from there.
Yeah, for sure. It's just, I feel like the one thing, like when you go anywhere, like you could go anywhere in the world almost, and people just know when you're from the Midwest.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, you must be from the Midwest.
It's so true. It's so true. Anytime someone out here is like, "You're not from here, are you?" And I'm like, "No, I'm from Ohio." They're like, "I knew it." They always say, "I knew it," because it's a Midwest
But you
thing.
don't have that Midwestern accent.
I don't have the accent, but it's like a mentality.
Yeah.
Oh, people tell me all the time, "Where are you from? You got an accent?"
Yeah,
Oh,
people
yeah.
tell me that too.
Yeah,
Like,
uh-huh.
What, Ohio has an accent now?
Right.
Right.
I feel like you do. I don't
feel
do.
like either one of you guys. So I have it. I've got like, you know, for sure people are like, you're from somewhere, Minnesota.
Minnesota?
Yeah, Minnesota.
Shout out. I love Minnesota.
Yeah.
Oh, we got someone else from West Bloomfield.
Yeah, West Bloomfield in the house.
Yes.
I love it.
How do you guys follow all of this?
Oh,
Do you see the comments on the
can't
bottom?
see comments?
Do you not see
Oh,
it?
wow, there's a lot.
There's a
Yeah.
lot, Allie.
Oh, hello.
people love you.
Yeah, you
know,
have a lot of fans out there. It's so
Yes,
awesome
from Ohio
to see.
State, 216 baby.
Yeah.
Oh, I just saw Ashley's lips look amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to come and see us for
We got
sure.
you.
No, totally. Wow. That's another thing about being here in California. You can leave your doors open
Right.
because there's like literally no bugs. I
No
feel like.
mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
But it
Yeah.
has been a little bit more this season. I don't know what's going on, but we're getting. Oh, my husband says it's the heat, but they're biting us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've noticed that too.
I think maybe because we also turned up our sprinklers, and so they're probably all laying eggs or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Lame eggs. No big deal.
So we're going to be getting cut off soon.
Yeah.
But Allie, can you tell us where we can see all of your amazing work? It's Spectrum Sportsnet, and you host the pre and post game show for the Lakers.
Yes. So I do pre and post with the Lakers on Spectrum Sportsnet. We do all pre and post, and we're still doing it right now, even in the playoffs when we don't have the actual broadcast.
Okay.
So that'll be Friday. I will be on air tomorrow night hosting a non-game day show. Hopefully we'll have our interview with Anthony Davis. But then I also do the Road Tripping podcast, which I told you is on just about anywhere you can get your audio podcasts, and then on YouTube and on Spectrum. And then my IG and Twitter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love it.
Can't wait to check out the podcast.
I
and
know.
listen to some
Yeah.
old episodes.
Yes.
You need to drink some vino and just be prepared to laugh because some of the jokes are just so outrageous that it's so good for your heart. It's so good for your heart. It'll make you smile, it'll make you laugh.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
so much for being on Behind the Beauty with us. It was a pleasure.
Oh my
You
God.
have to
So
come,
much fun.
you have to come visit us in the office.
Yes.
I will be in your DMs right now, Ashley. Even though I have your text, your
We're both
girlfriend, I'm kind of just like DMing you.
We hang out too much together. We're both like.
That's so funny. No, yeah, I totally want to come see you guys. Let's do it next week. That'd be great.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cheers,
Bye.
guys. Bye.